Bonjour food nerds! I'm Julianne Fader, the gastro nerd, and if you could tell by my wonderful French, we are going to be making something French today. Yes, crepe or crepes. Holy crepe, they're delicious. We're going to be making buckwheat crepes, variation of crepes, and they're not difficult. They're just like really thin pancakes, and you can break them out for breakfast and everyone will ooh la la, and they're just a great snack. So to begin, I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour going right into here. I'm gonna mix my dry ingredients first. Always mix your dry first. Then my buckwheat flour. Now buckwheat flour buckwheat is a type of wheat. It actually is gluten-free, but I'm putting in regular flour, so this is not gluten-free. And it has just a really nice color. You can see it's nice and dark. And it has a really kind of earthy flavor to it, so it's really nice. So I have about a pinch of sugar, just regular granulated sugar, and then a pinch of salt. This is more of a savory crepe, not a sweet crepe. So I'm just gonna quickly whisk this all together to make sure it's nice, blended throughout. Then I have 2 eggs, oofs. Isn't it the funniest word, oof? That's the French word for egg. Sounds like an accident, oof. Then I'm gonna scramble into here. And I'm gonna add my milk. So I have about a cup of whole milk here. Just sort of add a little bit at first. You'll see it's slowly gonna form what we know is that batter. So we want this to be nice and clear of bubbles, that is. Ooh, wow, and I can already smell that buckwheat. It has such like almost a toasted flavor. It's super nutty and it's gonna be delicious. So the key is you might see a few bubbles, but what we're gonna do is we're going to let this rest for an hour. So all those bubbles are going to disappear as it relaxes, because this is French, so it wants to relax before you do anything. So just make sure that all the little clumps are gone. If there are a few little clumps in there, it's not the end of the world. A lot of those will go away and they sit. So my batter is fini. I'm going to let this rest for 1 hour. Ideally, you could let it rest a little bit longer. This is just let the air bubbles go down into the fridge. I can find room in my fridge. Now there is one key ingredient that we cannot forget, because once again, this is a French dish, and it is beurre, butter. And we're gonna use it in 2 different forms for the batter. One whole that we're just gonna cook the crepes in, but the other one we're going to brown and put right into the batter. We are going to make beurre noisette, which literally means hazelnut butter. And why is it called that? Well, we're gonna brown that butter, so it's really brown butter in English. And it's gonna take on a nice nutty hint, and I'll show you how. All you need is a pan. To make hazelnut butter, you need butter and a pan. We're literally gonna brown this butter. And butter browns because it has 2 main components, fat and protein. The fat part is what we love. The protein is actually what's gonna turn brown and give us that wonderful nutty flavor too. So it's a double action. So really you just spread this out and you're just gonna let it melt, fully melt, and then slowly it's going to start to turn golden brown. But you have to be very careful and watch it, because it goes from brown to burnt very fast, and nobody wants burnt butter. So I use a pretty medium to high heat in order to melt the butter. As you can see, it starts to slowly talk and says, hey guys, we're gonna turn into beurre noisette. This is so exciting. So I like to stir it around just until it's all melted, and now this is the noisette moment. And you'll see the foam, the bubbles are gonna start to die down. It's very dramatic. It starts to be quiet. And then you start to see the little color change? Make sure it's even, because sometimes your pan's gonna be hotter on one part or another. And, oh, there's our brown. There is our brown. And because, like I said, it changes really quickly, that is perfect for our purposes. Oh, baby, perfect. Et voila, you see the foam, but if you look below, it is a perfect brown color. It is just like the hazelnut. So this is gonna cool. My batter's resting, and when it's all done, we're gonna unite them, and we're going to make some fabulous crepes. To finish my crepes, my batter has fully rested. It's been in there for a little over an hour, so it's really come together and all those bubbles are gone. I'm going to add my beurre noisette that we made together. Dump it right in there. It's different than just adding melted butter because it has a nuttiness to it then you can actually smell as soon as it turns brown, and it's really gonna add that flavor right into the crepes. So I have my pan on a medium to low heat. These are gonna cook real fast. You wanna make sure that they have enough ample time to really cook. And this is our second round of butter. We're gonna cook it in butter. And warning, your first crepe of your batch is going to be a flop. So don't worry, you're testing the heat and get everything right. Chances are it'll be a disaster. So after you have your first disaster crepe, it's over there somewhere. You can generally eat it, it's fine, it's just not very pretty. You figure out what temperature, and now the temperature you really want is your butter to just turn so. Did I mention it is crucial to have a non-stick pan? This is gonna make you pretty much, it's almost impossible to flip this in a regular pan. It's definitely possible because non-stick's relatively new and they were making crepes before then, but nevertheless. And part of the benefit of having the right temperature pan is that it'll stick, the batter will stick as you let it fully stretch out the batter. So the idea here, because crepes being very thin, is you really want to make sure it is as thin as possible and really just one layer. You could even do less batter than that. So the real test of your crepe making abilities is the ability to flip it. And you can lift and there's a lot of different methods, but there's nothing like the old flip. When it's fully cooked through, and then you can really kind of jiggle it and swish it around, and then it's all in the wrist. There we go. That's the perfect color. Look how beautiful. It's like it's like modern art and food. This is my perfect crepe. Holy crepe, this is gorgeous. As you can see, there are colors on both sides. It has that nice golden brown. It is cooked. Now comes the real question. What do you put in it? You can eat this plain, it's very tasty. I love Nutella, banana, you can put anything in this. Because of the buckwheat, it's more savory, so you can actually, like I said, you could put eggs, ham, and cheese, vegetables. It's kind of like a French burrito. But because I'm going classic, I'm gonna flip mine over. There's always a presentation side. The first side's like the presentation side, and the second side ain't so much. My favorite way my French family would always do, my adopted French family, is a little bit of lemon, it's a little granulated sugar. And you can roll this and eat it. Now, technically they cut their crepes. There's like a whole method of going like this, or whatever. I'm impatient. I was gonna use a fork and knife, but the buckwheat has such a nice earthy, nutty flavor to it. And there's a nice little acidity from the lemon and sweet from the sugar. And of course, all that butter. Merci pour avoir regardé le Gastronerd. Je suis Julienne. C'était un plaisir. Si vous voulez subscriber, je sais pas si c'est un mot, mais on dit ça. Vous pouvez épouser? Non. Choisir ce bouton-là pour être une fan. Thanks for watching the Gastronerd. I'm Julianne Fader. You can subscribe to my channel by clicking this little button below. And stay tuned for more nerdiness to come.